For many decades, a common saying was, "It's a man's world." But at least one young lady from Rogers never got the message. November 3rd, 1946, in the small northwest Arkansas town of Rogers, Gwen Ann Weaver was born. She led a typical girl's life in small-town Arkansas, dreamed the dreams that girls dream, never imagining that she might someday step into a world that was most often dominated by men. Gwen graduated high school at Rogers, the class of '64. She attended College of the Ozarks in Clarksville, graduating with a degree in business in 1966. In 1967, she married Tom Beatty, who was finishing pharmacy school, and the two lived then in St. Louis. The couple moved back to Rogers in 1969, and she had her first child in 1970. Until now, Gwen's life was pretty typical, but things were about to change. The young mother and housewife had her first sample of what would become her new love and an amazing career on a whim, a chance.
I was tricked by my husband and his flight instructor. We were building a home, and my husband was at the airport all the time, and I was home with the baby trying to hang wallpaper and paint the walls. And I thought that was just ridiculous that he wasn't there helping me. So he tricked me into taking a ride at the airport, and the trick was on him because I loved it so much that I continued flying and achieved all these.
Gwen got her private pilot certificate in November 1973, and by 1979 was a Gold Seal flight instructor. She was a private pilot with instrument rating, and a commercial pilot, and a ground instructor, an advanced ground school instructor, a Gold Seal instructor, and a multi-engine pilot, and all the while a full-time mother of two boys. In 1980, she operated the Gwen Beatty Part 61 Flight School, and in 1983, she was named Flight Instructor of the Year by the Aeronautical Commission and the Arkansas Aviation Historical Society, and was named Certified Flight Instructor of the Year in 1990 by the FAA.
I just loved it. From the time I went up, I just loved it. I absolutely loved the adventure, and I just kept going and ended up as a flight examiner.
She became an FAA-designated pilot examiner for private, instrument, commercial, flight instructor, and light twin-engine aircraft. She was named the first woman pilot examiner for the state of Arkansas, and just the third woman appointed a pilot examiner for the nation. Gwen loves to tell the story of a 17-year-old boy from the tiny country town of Pea Ridge who came to her one day wanting to learn to fly. The boy only had vision in one eye, but he so much wanted to learn to fly, she spent long hours researching how this could be done, and she found a way. With research showing he could get a test with the Flight Standards District Office in Little Rock and passing medical exams, it was possible for him to get a pilot's certificate. On one occasion, the boy said he had to rush home to feed the cows. His lessons were often interrupted by this. It was disappointing for him. But Gwen suggested he name his cows with airplane talk, such as Rudder, Piper Beach, Mr. Elevator, Miss Drag, Liftoff, Heavyweight, and so on. The boy did. He stayed with his studies thanks to Gwen's efforts. Robert Wood just retired as senior international captain for Walmart and flew around the world. In 2001, Gwen married George Blue, and in 2002, she retired from designated examiner with 20 years of service, and in 2009, retired from 30 years as flight instructor. She still lives in Rogers, where she enjoys flights with her sons. And now, she's just completing her first book about her storied career. The book, called Takeoff, is expected to be released in early 2019.
You have to read my book because there's a need for pilots, plane pilots, helicopter pilots. There's just a need. And go for it. Go for it. If you love it, go for it.
If you hear someone say, "It's a man's world," please don't tell it to Gwen Beatty Blue. She won't believe you. Her accomplishments and her determination to take women and aviation to new heights earns her an eternal place in the Arkansas Aviation Hall of Fame.